Hi everyone. So today I'm going to be doing a video that I'm really excited to do, which is I'm going to be talking about authors that I'm excited to read in 2023. Little disclaimer, I have all 3 dogs in here with me, so if you hear random noises, that's them, but they shouldn't be too loud. But anyways, I really wanted to make this video as kind of a precursor for next year and planning and figuring out what authors I want to read, what books I want to read. I really want to read next year a lot more historicals, and I just want to read more diverse authors and read more diverse books. I feel like like a lot of people, I think, kind of buy into the hype of books and just reading all of the same books that everybody else is reading. But I really want to make it a goal to find some authors that I've never heard of before, try their books, read just more diverse books from diverse authors, and I really want to make that a priority in this coming year, and not just read the same authors over and over again, because I want to be able to find some really great books that people aren't reading that I can recommend to you guys. So I have some authors here that I'm really excited to share with you. Some of them are popular, some of them are not as like hyped, but I'm really excited. So the first little stack are going to be some historical authors. So the first one is Stacy Reid. I have had Stacy Reid on my TBR for a really long time. I actually read one of her books. I got an ARC of one of her books maybe like 3 years ago, but I just didn't really love it that much. I have no recollection of it either, so I'm like, okay, well, I really want to read some of her other books. One of the books that I've heard is really good from her is one where this woman in high society, she basically says that she's engaged to this duke who hasn't been in society in years, and so he finds out that she basically is like saying she's gonna marry him, and so he comes back into society. He's like, who's this woman who claims to be my fiance? So I'm really excited to read that book. I just couldn't find it right now, so I just grabbed this one, but I really want to read Stacy Reid, especially her audios. I hear they're really good, so I'm excited to read some books by Stacy Reid this upcoming year. And then I also have Heather Graham. So I wanted to read specifically in historical romance, some older historical romance. I need to read more Beverly Jenkins. I have read a couple books by her and really like them, and I really want to read a lot of her backlist on audio, so I'm going to try to get some books from my library of hers, because I really enjoy her audios. Her books are really fantastic. But I have Heather Graham, who wrote A Pirate's Pleasure. I have never read anything by Heather Graham, and this supposedly is a very, very good pirate romance, so I'm really excited to read this. I love pirate romances. I love Sea of Ruin, so I really want to read an old school historical pirate romance this coming year. And then I have Shanna Galen. I found out about Shanna Galen in the beginning of the year. I think it was when Jess from Peace Love Books started reading a couple of her books. Really, really like them. Her romance, I hear, are funny and kind of unique, like this one. I think that the hero is trying to seduce an assassin's daughter. So that sounds really interesting, and I'm just excited to read this author. She sounds really good, so it might be a new historical author I'm gonna love. And then I have, this is the last historical, which is Minerva Spencer. I hear that her books are very spicy for historical romance. Some of them are darker. This one I think is a pirate romance, maybe. Yes, it is a pirate romance. And I think I don't know what happens in this book, but I think he's just like a morally gray character, and yada yada yada. So I'm really excited to read this one. I found this author from Jen from the Book Refuge. She read a couple of her books and really liked her, said she was very spicy for historical romance, so I'm really excited to give her a try. Now I'm going to get into some of my contemporary authors, and so first up we have Chloe Leese. Everybody has fallen in love with the Bergman Brothers series. I think that's what the series is called, and people say they the first book is not so great or not their favorite, but the second one is just amazing. And this is a hockey romance. I think she, I don't know what she does, but she like works for like the hockey team, and she is like the grumpy and he is sunshine, and I think it's also maybe Hate to Love. I don't know, but I've just heard really good things about this author, and that she has a lot of representation in her books, and I just want to read some more diverse books, and I really want to pick this one up. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this series, so I'm really excited to start this series, and I just can't wait to read it. I am really excited. I've heard one of the other books in this series, I think, is Marriage in Trouble, which is one of my favorite tropes of all time, so I'm super excited for this series and to read from this author. Then the next book I have is Shot. Oh, I almost said Shot. It's Not My Type by Evie Mitchell. I think this is a part of her All Access series. But, oh, yes. So she is a sexologist. Oh, okay. So I think they might be doing like a Friends with Benefits thing. But then she wants more and he like can't resist her. I'm not really sure, but a lot of people have recommended to me Evie Mitchell, so I really want to read one of her books. And she is an indie author, and she has a lot of representation in her book, so I am very excited to read this book, and I am so intrigued by this author and how she's going to do like the sexologist thing, because I have never read a book with a sexologist, so I'm excited to read this book. Alright, so the next one I have is Brittany C. Cherry. I have been putting off Brittany C. Cherry for a long time because I'm kind of nervous to read her books. They seem very, very emotional, and I'm just like so terrified. I did try to read one of her books a long time ago, well, maybe like a year and a half ago, and it was kind of a dud. I didn't like it. I ended up DNFing it, but I heard this series and this book particular is really, really, really good, so I really want to read this one, and I think this is the 4th book in this series, so I'm not going to read the first book because I've heard people don't love it, but I just want to dive in with this one, and people say this is like their favorite of hers, or this is like a favorite of all time from her, like, and just in general, like this is one of their favorite books ever. So I'm really excited to read this book and read some Brittany C. Cherry. Next author I have is Tara DeWitt, Funny Feelings. I really want to read this book. I actually have it on my TBR for December. And I really want to read this. I've just heard really good things. It's a single dad romance, friends, lovers, but they also have to fake date. So I'm very excited to read this one and read some books from Tara DeWitt. So the next author I have is another hyped author. I do have a couple of hyped authors on this like list, and that's Elena Armas. And I really want to read Elena Armas because people love The Spanish Love Deception, and I really want to give her a try, because sometimes I do really like some of the hyped authors, but sometimes I'm just like, I don't really feel it. But people really enjoy this one, and I do love slow burn romances and like traveling, and this sounds like a really good plot, so I really am excited to read this. This one I have is Lucy Score. I have been putting off reading this book because it's like chunky, and I'm just like, but I'm excited to read this. I think this is a Hate to Love. She's on the run, and she goes to this like small town, and she has like a twin sister. And I don't really know what happens, but she is like a guardian to a kid, something like that. I don't really know, but a lot of people really love Lucy Score and say she's a really funny author, and so I really want to find a great author where I can just like read her books and just feel very like happy and just like a sweet romance and just like something fun to read to lighten the mood, because I love my dark romance authors, but I love having a good author that I can just read whenever I know that I'm going to really enjoy them. So I'm excited to read Lucy Score in the next in 2023. Hopefully I could read this and then read the new book that's coming out in 2023 before the new book comes out, because I think this is a part of like the same series maybe. But yeah, I'm really excited to read her, and I really want to read, I think she has another book called like By the Thread or something that sounds really good also. Next author I have is Tate James. This one is, I really want to read Tate James. She writes a lot of dark romance, and I can't remember what this one is specifically about. Oh, I think it is a motorcycle club, and she has really long series, and so I just want a good author where I can binge read a series, and she sounds like the perfect author for that. Her books are very chunky, they're very drama filled, I think, so I'm excited to give her a try. The next author I have is Maggie Cole. So I really want to read Maggie Cole. I've heard amazing things about this series. It's a mafia romance series, and I've just heard really good things about her, and that her series are very good. This one, I think, maybe they have like a one night together kind of thing, and then he sees her again, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, so they have one night together, or two, and one night turns into two, then we go our separate ways, but fate doesn't keep us apart. When I run into my stranger back in Chicago, I know it's him, even if I've never seen his icy blue eyes before. Our craving is hotter than Vegas, but he never lied. He is a ruthless man. Okay, so this sounds really good, but I am very excited to read this and to read some series from this author. So the last author I have is Claire Kingsley. I really want to read this series specifically from her. She is a small town romance author, and she has written a couple small town romance series. She wrote one with like the Miles brothers. This is the Bailey brothers, and they're all just like super cute, I've heard, but also very spicy for small town romances. So I'm really excited to read this and start this series. I collected the whole series in March because I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so good. And a lot of people had been recommending this series to me, so I really want to give this author a shot. Alright, that is the end of this video. I hope you guys liked watching me talk about all the authors that I want to read hopefully in 2023, and there are going to be countless authors that I just probably forgot and didn't add to this list, but I'm so excited for 2023. I'm getting really excited about a new reading challenge and just reading books that I really enjoy. I think I really have been struggling this year especially with reading books that are just so hyped, and then just not ending up liking it and buying it and then just like not enjoying it. So I just really want to make it a goal to read very diversely in 2023, and I just want to read just some really, really good books and find some really amazing authors. But that's it for me today, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.